Hey YouTube, it's Phanat over here at the Iberia Community Garden. I'd give everyone a tour of the property over here. We are in New Iberia, Louisiana, southern Louisiana, right along the coast, and we're in a zone 9. And just wanted to show you guys all the things that are growing around the property. So come and check it out. It's gonna be a little noisy because I don't have a microphone and then we're on a very busy street. So the Iberia Community Garden and this whole garden has been around for about 5 years now, and different parts of it have emerged over that past 5 years. This is probably the newest part of the Iberia Community Garden. This is actually my family's house that I live in. In the back there, you can see that there are 2 greenhouses. That's the actual Iberia Community Garden part of it, and we're going to show you guys that part a little later. But first, I wanted to show you this fantastic perennial border that we have here. We have all kinds of perennials and annuals, and the design theme behind this was colors of blue, lavender, purple, and pinks. So a lot softer colors. I have my wine in my hand here. It was a gift from a friend, Kimberly Limkale, who stopped by early, and thank you. So I just thought I'd enjoy my glass of wine and sort of stroll through the garden and enjoy all the flowers while it's not too hot outside and we just had a fresh rain and everything looks fresh and perky. So we have some cleomes over here, a rose of Sharon in the corner, spider wort, a purple butterfly bush. It's very pretty. This is the cleome of blue plumbago. We have some spider wort popping up here, some society garlic, some pink verbenas, pink achilles and salvias, all mixed together there. We also have some, what do you call these? The Mexican ruelas, and those are highly invasive. They grow like crazy. I have to work on keeping them back. Liatris are about to come into bloom. Very excited about that. They bloom pink. Those flamingo feathers, I think, are the other names for them. We also have, they haven't been blooming yet, but they're going to be coming up later this early summer. That is a globe thistle, purple globe thistle, and this is a blue sea holly that I got from Nick's mom, and I'm very excited about that. Thank you, Miss Rita. Some blue salvias, a wild elderberry that volunteered itself here in the front yard. I decided to just go ahead and keep it, and you can see that it's blooming there. Elderberry has some great medicinal properties, so I'm going to keep that around and see if I can make some elderberry tincture or something. We are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, so anything to help boost the immune system is a gift from nature, so very grateful for that. That is the front of the house. It's an old house built in the 1950s. My family's been living here since let's see, the mid-90s. We actually lived across the street in the trailer park over there, in the 3rd trailer, which isn't there anymore, but that's where it was. And I grew up in this neighborhood and moved to New York, moved to Bangkok, and moved back here about 9 years ago, and decided to get involved in the community and start all kinds of different projects. And the community garden was one of those projects. And once I got my feet into the door with gardening, I just became obsessed and started to just garden all over the property. So what else do I have here? I have some, this is sort of like a wild perennial border where I just kind of don't put plants that are really durable. So you have some lollipop verbenas, the rose of Sharon, some pink gomphrena here, and echinaceas. And I wish I had more of these sort of dispersed everywhere. I have some zinnias that we just transplanted recently, and usually in the middle of summer this starts to grow very full. I have some lavender and another butterfly bush over there, and we keep some plastic over here just to keep that area a little drier, because those are plants that don't like our Louisiana wet weather too much. And we're kind of going through a drought right now, so they're very happy. So I'm gonna bring you guys to the front entrance. One of the projects we're going to work on is actually putting a fence up front to sort of be the back of this perennial border up front. I need to paint this front door too. It hasn't been, it's been a while since it's been painted. This is wisteria up here. And this is the north side of the house, so it doesn't get that much sun. So the wisteria hasn't been blooming for me that much, so I'm thinking about removing it entirely. There's some pink Peggy Martin climbing roses that are mixed in there, and that is coming towards the end of its bloom cycle. Oh, here's a nice little, what is that, like coral colored rose that just popped up. Very lovely. Look how pink that is. Beautiful. So mixed along this border, right up against the wall, are more shade-tolerant plants. I put a lot of azaleas that bloom in the spring. We have hydrangeas that bloom. I have to add acidifier into the soil because I like hydrangeas that are blue. So of course, with the hydrangeas, if you put more, if you have more acid soil, the hydrangeas will turn blue. We have some pink roses, knockout roses here, some other pink tea roses back here as well, and a mix of plumbago and some gladiolas that are about to bloom for us. So that's the front of the house, and we have our hedges that are our Yupon hedges that are need a little bit of trimming. So you follow me to the back of the house. We're gonna go to the back of the house first, and like I said, the community garden and the greenhouse started about 5 years ago, and at that time, all of this back here was just grass. It was just literally like a flat lawn, and it was we didn't bother to look at it at all. But one day I just decided I want to make this place a beautiful garden again, and so over the 5-year period, just slowly started to add things. My ethnicity is Lao, and I also wanted to add a lot of Lao or tropical plants that reminded me a lot of my childhood growing up. We grew up in this neighborhood. My grandmother lived right there, the next door, and they gardened all the time. My grandparents did, and I just remember growing up that there was just this lush garden around me all the time with just all these Laotian medicinal and edible plants, culinary plants. So we have things like that here, like kefir lime leaves, the plumeria or frangipani plants, different kinds of fruiting plants that are used in various Laotian dishes. So we had to stop and switch cameras, and our gimbal died and all this other stuff, but now we're back into it. I refilled my glass of wine, and I'm getting a little tipsy, so I'm gonna slur my speech a little bit, but that's okay. So, like I was saying earlier, this area was all grass before, and after I started with the Iberia Community Garden, I just became obsessed, and I really started to dig into it and said, you know what, I'm gonna turn this all into a nice lush garden. And so this has been a work in progress for the past 5 years or 4 years now. So come through with me and check out all these sort of more tropical kind of plants. I tried to find plants that were more that reminded me a lot about the Lao sort of culture. I had my grandparents living next to me for all these years, and we were I can't even say it. I don't even know anymore. I can't drink. I'm just blah, blah, blah. So let's just walk through. I'll just start pointing out different plants that we have. So we have a bougainvillea, different kind of Lao, Asian medicinal and culinary plants that are over here. If you want to keep the camera on me, so I'll just point out and be a little bit more further back so you can get my whole body in the frame.
Okay. You might not be able to see the plants that well, but okay.
That's okay.
All right.
And so we have these sort of desert cacti here, some yellow ginger. This is the entrance to what I call the red garden. And it's going to be a little dark in here. We're losing light very quickly, but come and check it out anyway. A red banana tree. So I focused this area to be a lot of red sort of tinted plants. So we have, I always forget the name of this plant, but it's being attacked by some sort of bug right now. So there's a bunch of holes in it and they get that sprayed ASAP. So we have a lot of container plants in here that are not winter hardy. So I move these containers into the greenhouse every winter if we're expecting a freeze. So we have Persian shields, bougainvillea, sort of begonias here, some tricolored ginger, some shrimp plants. This lovely little archway here. If you want to step around here and sort of look through this wonderful archway that we have here of these, what do you call these? These red tips. And I dug out this little area of the garden and started to come across all of these concrete rubbles, and I decided to just use that rubble in the garden as part of the whole look of it. So I think it turned out pretty nicely. We dug out this giant thing out of the ground here as well. I don't know what this place was before they built this house on it. It must have been some sort of concrete junkyard or something. So we have some more Draconias, some Hawaiian Thai plants, some Mickey Mouse, elephant ears here, Nandinas along the perimeter of the red garden, and a nice little chimenea. We just love to hang out here at night, meditate, light the chimenea up, and it's so nice. So let's come up this way to the kitchen garden. You can take a look at this beautiful kitchen garden. We have a lot of beautiful kale popping up in here right now, and a lot of lettuce that's bolting right now, so it's very bitter. We are in the middle of April, and in Louisiana, April is right when it starts to get warm. We have temperatures in the 80s, in the upper 80s on a regular basis. And so the lettuce starts bolting at that point, and so I leave these here for a little while and I try to collect the seeds from the lettuce. We also have this water garden here, and we had dug up so much concrete rubble from the ground. I decided to make a water garden that featured all of this concrete rubble. So we mixed all of that into this. We have a sort of leakage problem, and I haven't been able to find the leak just yet, but it's right at this level because the water just empties out to about this level and then it stops. So Nick and I will sort of look around and see what we could find. Step through this archway, we'll go through this pathway and into the white garden. So follow me. Before we go into the white garden, here's a little fairy garden that my nieces and I worked on. We have a lot of like sedums that are good for rock gardens and stuff. It loves full sun, and so we're gonna slowly just add on to that. So at the entrance to the white garden, we have this tobacco plant, but this is a Nicotiana something. It's an Indian peace pipe plant actually, and you'll notice in the white garden I've intentionally selected white flowering plants that have fragrance to them. So this gives off a wonderful fragrance in the evening, and it's doing it right now actually. It smells wonderful. And so if you come up to the rest and check out sort of the big expansive white garden, you can see it's a more formal look, and you can see our boxwood hedge that sort of borders the perimeter of the garden, and within those beds we have all the white flowers. So let's take a closer look. An Italian cypress, a butterfly bush. I have a lot of these cheap Dollar Tree LED lights all over, and they have that sort of cool lighting effect at night, and it makes this garden seem very magical. So we have a magnolia, a dwarf magnolia here, agapanthus tucked into this corner over here. I pick up a lot of furniture from friends that are throwing out stuff. So this was an old patio set that was given to me, and I spray painted it white, but some of the paint's chipping off. The snapdragons here in the bed, I just planted some cosmos that are just about to bloom. We have some gardenias that also give off a lovely, lovely scent throughout the day. so good. Smells so good. White roses here. Angelonias tucked in there, along with some boxwoods and spireas. A viburnum right here, snowball viburnum. Ligustrum back here, azaleas. White climbing roses and Confederate jasmine. That's probably the strongest of the scents. There's just so much coming off of that. And this is a little, what do you call it? White ruella. So similar to the purple one you saw up front. And this is also great. Angel trumpets. Smells so good. So good. Some more Asian jasmine. I forget the variety of that, but I have some more tropical varieties. A sweet autumn clematis that's going to bloom in the fall for me and give off a very lovely scent. And also caladiums that are starting to pop up as well. And that's our tour of the White Garden. So I'm going to take you guys through the greenhouses, and you can check out the Iberia Community Garden that started about 5 years ago. We got some grant funds from the Iberia Parish Foundation and also the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Foundation to get the greenhouses started. And it was funded for about 2 years, and after those 2 years the funds were all spent, and we had to self-sustain for the rest of the time. So we've been self-sustaining for all the years afterwards, and we are just finally getting things on sort of as a sort of well-oiled machine. So very happy to finally get it to that stage. So it's kind of dark in here, but this is the second greenhouse that we built, and we have this vertical hydroponic system. And we grow everything in these pots, and we have just a mix of all kinds of things, herbs like mint and parsley mixed in with kale, strawberries, other kinds of greens, beans. And yeah, we harvest things out of here, and we supply 12 CSAs for a restaurant called Scratch in Lafayette, and we also supply produce to a farmer's market here in the neighborhood called the Berry Fresh Market. So let's check out. It's starting to rain on us, so we're gonna have to go through this quickly. Got lemon balm, sage, oregano, so we have our big growing beds out here that are just still has some winter stuff lingering, kale and broccoli. We're about to cut that and save the seeds from that, till this all up, add some compost and some manure, and try to get this planted with something for the summer, probably corn and more winter squash, like spaghetti squash and butternut squash. We have like over 100 of tomatoes that we're trellising up along here, and you can see sort of the whole span of tomatoes that run the whole length of the greenhouse here, and we keep those strung up, and we keep those pruned so that we do a single stem kind of operation here. And they're just starting to flower, and we're hoping to have a lot of tomatoes this year. Over here is just a bunch of 4 rows of squash plants, we have 4 different varieties, and each of those beds are made with these old banana trunks, and we have a patch of banana trees over there, and we cut that every winter, and we sort of add to the banana trunk. And it's a great way to do sort of organic gardening, and instead of buying like wood, treated wood or something from the lumber store, this is a great organic option that you could also do. And if you're in zone 9, these banana trees grow very prolifically. So it's like free bed making material for you. So come along this way, we'll take a look at some of the 8x4 beds. We did have some 8x4 wood beds that we started when we first started the greenhouses 5 years ago. And we have a mix of things in here. This is kale and kohlrabi and cabbage. And we're gonna have to pull this up all very soon. It has some potatoes over here that are starting to flower, which means it's getting close to being ready to be harvested. So we're gonna have to pull that up pretty soon. Corn over here, a mix of carrots and kale, squash back here, radishes in this bed that we need to that we're pulling out, and beets in these 2 beds. And I see some big beets in there. They're looking ready to go. So we have some nice beets like that. So that's the perfect size for pulling a beet, like about a golf ball size. So last greenhouse. You follow me? We just planted along here a bunch of cucumber seeds. So we're adding like 80 cucumber plants to our inventory. So hopefully we'll be able to move all those cucumbers. But we have cucumbers already existing along here. You can see the whole stretch of cucumbers. They're doing very well underneath the greenhouse, underneath the high tunnel, and we have them strung up along this twine here, and they're very happy. And the bees, you know, the sides are open, so all the bees are able to, pollinators are able to come in and pollinate all of them. I've been harvesting every day, sending them out to the market. So we only have smaller ones right now, but they get pretty long. They're nice sized cucumbers. I think these are the market more varieties. If you come around this way, you can see more of these towers, and we have just started planting a lot of peppers in all of these towers, and we have maybe 6 varieties of peppers that are growing in here right now, and hot peppers, sweet peppers, mild peppers, and it's very exciting. We have a lot of squash plants that were planted here during the winter time, and they're producing great for us. We have a lot of spaghetti squash tucked in there. Let me see if I can find one. Oh, here's one, like kind of smallish, decent sized one, and it's just turning almost the right color, and I just broke it, so I'm just gonna pull it out. So that is a nice spaghetti squash there, and it's pretty much ready to go. It's turning that gold color. That means it's ready. All right, so we got to figure out what to do with a beet and spaghetti squash for dinner tonight, Nicholas. Maybe we'll roast that up.
Yum.
All right, and we got a lot of different herbs in here too. We have a little spot right here where we start our little seed trays and whatnot. We have some eggplants that are ready for the summer. And this is Mary Agnes. Mary Agnes? Oh, she's a sweetheart. I'm allergic to cats, but I like petting her. And she's very pregnant, as you can see. She's ready to pop in.
That's the only reason we're nice to her right now. She's pregnant.
So if you come this way, this is our wonderful new washing station. And we just put this canopy over this area. And it's a great little space where we wash our lettuce and greens that we harvest. We have these 2 tanks here that we clean out and wash. And then we recycle the water in this sink here, right in the sink here, into these rain tanks. And we collect rainwater from the rooftops as well, and send that out to the greenhouses. So we try to make this as a sustainable operation as possible. There's also solar panels that power this operation that are on the rooftop here. And yeah, it's been a very great project to be involved with.
It was our coronavirus project.
Yeah. So during this, you know, we're doing this video in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we've been using this time of self-isolation and quarantining to catch up on all these projects and adding more inventory to the harvest stock, and doing all these projects like the washing station and fixing all kinds of things and setting our irrigation on timers. And so everything's starting to run so smoothly here, and it's becoming a really legit operation. So I think that's all I have to say about the community garden. We'll try to do these tours every so often, maybe once every other month or something, to show everyone what's happening around the garden, what's growing, and we'll show you different ways to support the garden if you'd like. So if you have any questions or comments, please give us a like, and and put your question in the comments below, and we'll try to catch up with y'all anytime soon, and we'd love to give tours as well. So see y'all later. Thank you.